Is that on? Is that better? Shall I start again? Yeah, we've got to be realistic. I think what is effectively probably the 9th day that wicket's been played on tomorrow. It's as we can see, it's doing plenty for the spinners. There's lots of cracks there. So realistically, it's going to be a tough chase. But as we know, this team's capable of some special things. We've got some batters in there who can put bowlers under pressure in these kind of conditions. The more it turns, I guess, the more that the sweeps come in, the reverse sweeps, playing a bit squarer. We all know if you get on a roll and get a partnership going, anything can happen. So it'll be one hell of a chase. It's something that we'll obviously relish and try to go for and put the opposition under pressure. But we've got to be realistic as well. It'll be a tough ask.
You mentioned it being day 8 today, day 9 tomorrow on that pitch. Can you, as a coach, sum up what your guys have had to do from piling on 800 on a flat one against seamers to trying to scratch out 200 with the ball ragged both ways?
Look, it's unusual. I've not come across it in Test cricket before that you've played on the same pitch. I think it might have happened during COVID times, bubble times. I'm just guessing, but the way that you're shaking your head, obviously not. But I guess Pakistan in many ways have taken a risk on winning the toss, and they have done in this Test match. But we've got to find a way tomorrow to somehow try to knock 260 runs off on a wicket that is. Got plenty of cracks and plenty of assistance. But kind of in many ways, it's playing on a pitch like that can be a lot of fun as well, because it's doing so much that you find ways of scoring, getting the rhythm and scoring the runs on those pitches, and taking. You're going to have to take risks as simple as that to try to score runs. So we all know and stats will tell you, history will tell you, if we stand around and try to defend all day and accumulate in that way, that it's that would be even tougher doing it that way. So we've got to find ways of putting the opposition under pressure.
Spinning pitch, but did you feel for Bryden Cast this afternoon? He absolutely pounded in and he got 2-3 edges and they unfortunately went down. That was maybe a moment where you could have changed the course of the game a little bit.
Yeah, look, he's been magnificent, and I think not just the skills that he's brought into his bowling and on these pitches is very different to Durham pitches back home in England. The reverse swing, the paces that he's been able to keep up, his stamina in hot conditions. He's created a lot of chances on wickets that you would say are very, very slow. So some great signs, frustrating at times. The one thing you've got to kind of say with the drop catches is, it's unusual that we're standing so close to the bat. With the nature that the pitch is, you've got to try to make sure that any edge carries. We see plenty of balls that have bounced twice through to Jamie Smith, and so hold your hands up to a lot of the bravery that these lads have gone probably an extra 2 or 3 yards closer to actually take the edge, and unfortunately today we couldn't take a couple of them.
Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Collie. That drop from Jamie Smith of Salmon so early in his innings, quite a big moment. How's he bearing up, and is he the kind of guy who can brush off a disappointment like that quite easily?
And he never seems to change his demeanour at all, no matter what's happening, which is, to me, is a great trait. Whether he's gone out there and scored runs, whether he's taken amazing catches, he always seems pretty deadpan, to be honest with you. So, look, I'm sure he'd be disappointed, but he certainly doesn't show it. Nobody wants to drop catches. Whether it's Jamie Smith just in a handful of Test matches that he's played, or whether it's Joe Root, with the experience that he's had. It's part and parcel of the game. The one thing as a bowling unit, as a fielding unit, is you've always got to try to create more opportunities, and if you do that, then hopefully those chances get taken.
Just on Jamie, can you give us a bit of perspective on how well he's done since coming to the team last summer?
Yeah, look, it's been amazing. To have someone so level-headed, it feels like he's been around for years, and I thought barring that drop catch, I thought his keeping's been exceptional. And, those 2 catches in the first innings, which, really skipped through, and to be able to take those from such a close range, I thought just shows what kind of skills, and obviously standing up to the spinners. He's just one of those keepers that you don't kind of notice, and when you don't notice keepers, it means that they're doing a very good job. So, with his batting as well, we all know he can be disruptive down the late order, and hopefully we don't need his runs tomorrow, but if we do, then we know we can do a lot of damage.
Paul, obviously last week was extraordinary, but would this outstrip that given the circumstances?
Yeah, I think it would. As you said, under the circumstances and the conditions that we've been given in this test match, to go out there, and the amazing thing is now, there's still hope, and there's only hope because of the amazing things that these guys have done in the past, and done in certain conditions. You look at that, the first test in India. I don't think anybody had given us any hope of going on to win that one, but someone like Ollie Pope goes out and makes a double, and it's kind of they're capable of doing amazing things. And as long as you've got the likes of Brooke, Stokes, Jamie Smith to come in, it's anything can happen. So we'll still have the belief. We know it's going to be tough. We're very realistic, but we'll certainly try to find ways to put them under pressure.
Hey Collie, this is Behram Kazi from Pro Sports. So, in hindsight, of course, given how much this surface has had to offer for spinners, do you think perhaps England were better off if they played Rehan Ahmed in this game? And also, Steve Harmison and Neil Manthorpe were discussing on TalkSport that maybe Jimmy Anderson could potentially play the last test match. Of course, that was tongue-in-cheek, but we shouldn't expect that, should we?
Look, I think the balance of our side's been really good. I think with the cracks that are in the pitch, and we saw from the first test match that it was really hard to score against the seamers, and they look threatening as well with the up and down movement. So look, I think it's with Joe Root in your ranks being able to come on and take wickets. He's taken wickets on real turning tracks in the past. I think it gives you a real balance to the side, and when you're going into a test match, this surface, I guess, didn't look as though it was going to break up from the main part of the surface too much. 5 days of that last test match, it was still pretty flat at the end. But I guess it was going to eventually break up, and it seemed to do that last night.
Paulie, where do you rate the decision of PCB to use the same pitch for the second test, because they changed the whole strategy? They opted to play with the spinners especially, and they did not play a regular fast bowler.
Sorry, did you say what's my thoughts on it?
So where do you rate the decision of PCB to use the same pitch for the second test?
I don't think there's anything we can do about it. We just we kind of go out there and play on the pitches that we're given. As I said, it's a surprise that it happened. It's I guess it's a little bit of a gamble from Pakistan's point of view that you're going to win the toss, because as we've seen on the first day that the pitch played pretty well. But it's a gamble that we're willing to take, a gamble they're willing to take in selection. But from our point of view, there's we're not going to complain or anything like that. It's we get what we're given.